We're going to start out today, a very simple dish. Just a few techniques that I want to show everybody. The beauty of this dish, number one, is that you're only going to dirty a couple pans. Secondly, everything that you see today, you can find the ingredients in the store. Thirdly, it's a proven dish. There was an adaptation of this dish that actually got my uncle to net himself a wife, so it's got a track record. Anyways, so what we're going to do, we're going to start out, we've got a typical chicken breast that you'd see at any market that you visit or purchase from. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out with this chicken breast, okay? Set that there. And then we're going to start out by sauteing some onions, some portobello mushrooms, a little bit of watercress, and a little bit of garlic. So a little olive oil in the pan, 80-20 blend. And we're going to start out with our onions. And you're looking about a half an onion for the recipe. Put our onions in the pan. Now when you're cooking onions, you basically want to take the onion until it's actually translucent. And when I say translucent, when you can actually almost see through the onion, and then you know the onion's ready. Usually that takes about 2 or 3 minutes of time. So we'll throw the onion in, get that working. And you want to start with your onions, because if you put your onions and your garlic together at the same time, you have a tendency to burn the garlic. So we're going to start with the onion first. Now we're going to add our garlic. You're looking at about a tablespoon of garlic for the recipe. And now we're going to add our portobello mushrooms. You can find your portobello mushrooms in the mushroom section at your store. We're going to finish it with a little chopped watercress. If you can't find watercress, you can substitute spinach. You can substitute arugula if you like basil, oregano. But you're really going for color. And the herb is basically going to bring out the freshness of the stuffing. Okay, and what we're going to do is the thicker part of the chicken, we're going to grab hold with our hands. We're going to lift the chicken up, okay? And we're just going to take a knife, very carefully, open the chicken up, okay? So once again, you're just kind of making a little pocket in the breast. So we're going to open the pocket of the chicken up, as you can see, okay? And we're actually going to take a little bit of the stuffing. And once again, you can add cheese, you can add different components to the stuffing if you'd like, but we're actually going to have a cheese sauce. Get your pan on the stove, get it smoldering hot. Once again, we're going to go with a little olive oil, okay? You're going to let the olive oil, when you're cooking with olive oil and you want to get it hot, you can see it actually a little bit of smoke coming off the olive oil. That's when you know it's the proper temperature that you want to drop your chicken breast in. Okay? So the breast is in. And we're going to get a nice sear on this breast. So I'm going to say about, a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. And when you got a nice brown, it's time to go in the oven. All right, so we got the chicken in the oven. We're looking at probably about 12 to 15 minutes at 450 degrees. So while this is cooking, what we're going to do next is create a quick sauce. Sounds real fancy, schmancy, but actually the sauce is really easy to put together. What we have here is about a cup of white wine. We have some brie cheese cubed, a little bit of cornstarch, and what we're going to make is an oven roasted tomato and brie fondue. Okay? So basically this concept with fondues is to take the white wine and actually thicken it with a little bit of cheese, and the cornstarch is actually going to help emulsify everything together or to keep it from separating. Okay? So we're going to take our cup of white wine. Okay? Now you want to bring your white wine up to a boil. Okay, so while you're bringing up to a boil, you've got your brie cheese that's cubed, which once again, you can find any of this in your market. We're going to take just enough cornstarch and drop our cornstarch in there to cover the cheese. And when I say cover it, you'll notice how it'll slightly blanket the cheese, sift it with our hands to get the excess cornstarch off, and drop the cheese right into the white wine. Okay? So now you got your cornstarch, your brie in the white wine. We're going to once again bring that up to a boil. And then we're going to add our oven roasted tomatoes. If you don't have oven roasted tomatoes, you can use regular tomatoes, you can use sun-dried tomatoes, or any other variation. And we're going to throw that right in with the brie fondue. Okay? So we're going to let those guys swim around in the pot a little bit, get to know each other. We're going to actually puree the fondue, and puree is a fancy word for buzz it all together. If you have an immersion blender, which we have here, use that. If you don't, use your blender at home. And if you don't have a blender, get one, because you can't make margaritas without it. All right? So what we're going to do is take this immersion blender and our brie fondue, and we're simply going to bring it together and thicken the sauce. So what we're going to do now is take a little bit of the sauce, okay? And we're just going to basically dress the plate with our fondue, okay? And always cook with color. Because believe it or not, people do eat with their eyes. I know that sounds like cliche, but it's very important. Check the chicken, she's good to go. Mount the chicken, top of our mashed potatoes. And then we're basically going to take a little bit of broccolini. You can once again use any vegetable that you can find in your store. You're going to mount the broccolini up. Give it the old restaurant clean white. And there you go. Chicken a la my uncle. So I'd like to thank you guys again. Thank Milton again for having us on Ranch and Resort TV. And come visit Ember if you ever get a chance. Thank you.